Hello, welcome to another episode of Timesport on the Beat with me, K. Rajan of the New Straits Times. Today in the studio, we have Olympic Council of Malaysia Management and Administration Committee member, Mr. Melvin Chia. He is also the World and Asia Pool Association board member. He's a very experienced guy. He have done almost all in sports as an administrator and event organizer. One of the senior guys in Malaysian sports. And thank you so much, Melvin, for making time from your busy schedule to join this session.
Thank you, Rajan. Thanks for having me on the show.
Okay. Today, yes, the Olympic ended. The Paris Olympic just ended last week. All attention, all talks, everyone, the Malaysian were glued on the TV looking at our athletes. And there were so many points to talk from these Olympics. For you, Melvin, how you rate this Olympic?
Well, like any other Olympic, there's always expectations, and as a Malaysian, you're always looking at the achievement for the elusive gold medal that we've been still waiting for. But all in all, I think this Olympic has been very successful, even though we only achieved 2 bronze medals. Successful in the sense that if you look at the overall athlete performance, they have surpass their own individuals' limit.
Get the personal best.
So some of them has bettered their own national record, personal record, and things like that. Let's not look at the medal first. Let's look at their achievement. I think obviously badminton. There's been a lot of talks about badminton, getting the gold medals. We as Malaysian, I think we have a very good chance during Dato' Lee Chong Wei time, because he is really, the guy who is who is capable of achieving that medal, that gold medal. But unfortunately, I think we miss it, And this time, the same thing. You look at the athlete performance overall in badminton itself. I think they have all improved. The way the doubles, Aaron and So we came back and win that bronze medal. But if they were to have the same kind of feeling when they play with the Chinese, then it would be another different story.
Yeah.
They were there. I mean, you look at the standard. I mean, we watch sports all the time. We watch badminton all the time. We know where their skill level is. I think the main setback for all the Malaysian athletes is the confidence. It's the confidence and the feeling of the self-esteem, because a lot of them, when they enter the field, when you look at them, you can, from the look of their face, you look at them like there's some uncertainty in themselves. First thing you ask that, do they believe themselves whether they can deliver or not? Because not the question for the athlete. If you ask the people here back in Malaysia, you ask, I think a lot of them, maybe 60% of them, doesn't think that Malaysia is able to get any medal.
Okay.
It's how
that's
people
the reality.
look at
That's the reality. How people perceive, and maybe that expands to the athletes. They don't have that self-belief.
Yeah.
You're right. They always look at some mental block there. There's
So, but this is the result of the culture, because us as Malaysian, we're brought up in a very, very healthy and good culture. We are nice people. We're soft-spoken. We are always hospitable. We are genuinely
nice, kind people.
Yeah. So, but when you come to sports, when you come to compete in something, when you come to competition, you cannot be the little nice guy. For example, you look at Dato' Lee Chong Wei himself. He's a very nice person. Everybody knows that he's a very soft-spoken person, nice person. But in the badminton court, he's a different person.
There's a streak.
His character is there, his sarcastic is there. But he just lacked of the little confidence. You look at the 3 times he was in the finals. The first time, obviously, he's not as good as Ling Dan at the time. The second Olympic, he could have won it. He was 19. I think he was 19, 18. He just need another point to make sure he's comfortably securing the medal. But he's uncertain himself. You look at him and how he played. I'm not saying that he's bad, but it's just natural. In all, you say Malaysians, sometimes we are scared of winning. If I were to bring you back a little bit onto the badminton days of Miss Moon Sidik, he was leading, I think that one was Lim Swee King or somebody else. He's leading like 7 point or 8 point in front, but he can end up losing the match because of the confidence and uncertainty. I think as a Malaysian, I think we should be looking at this as the key for focus for future, because when it comes to any competition in future, the athlete, especially Malaysian athlete, has a little bit of lacking in their confidence. You look at all the foreign athletes like Europe, US.
Even the badminton players from China, they are so confident. They are not worried. Maybe they have the worry inside, but they never show. You can't see them worrying.
For skill wise, we are already there. Skill wise, we are there.
And
exposure, we are there. Fitness depends on some countries. From that single match, you can see that Excelson is very, very good.
Top peak condition, physical condition.
And the Thai, he is also in his peak.
Best. His
because
best condition.
You can tell that for Jija, he's getting up there, but probably this Olympic is not really
not his best
there yet.
Yeah, it's not his best yet.
But we can see that he's on the verge of improving and getting better and better. Yeah, so I think all in all, again, like I said, it's a good outing. Malaysia has done well, regardless of the medal they achieve. You look at the bicycle, accident happened, incident happened, you can't blame them, because all they're focusing is to get medals. So, sometimes things like that happen. Divers, she did her best, she was in the final. Navita was in the finals.
Despite she came in late because she got the wildcard slot.
Yeah.
It was very late to prepare and she still managed to go. But again, a lot of people don't understand that the Olympics is a very high standard. You can't afford to make mistake. A little bit lacking, maybe in terms of your preparation, your physical condition, your mental condition, your confidence. It will reflect in the result because everyone there are world-class athletes.
Yeah, that's true. So you see, things that we may have focused into a few sports itself. Maybe there are some other sports, non-physical contact sports, may be also an opportunity for Malaysia. Because look at the Thais, the Indonesians and the Filipinos. Nobody thinks that they can ever achieve that. They came up with Philippines 2 gold medals, Taiwan and Indonesia got 2.
Indonesia, I think for the longest time now, they are not relying on badminton for the gold medals. They have moved to sports climbing and weightlifting. So we are physically similar built.
Yeah, so I think that whatever the program that the minister come up with, the RTG, it's all good. It's all very effective, but it needs to be more focused. It needs to get in the right people to manage it, so that the athletes are guided properly. Like I said, technically in terms of skill and their physical fitness, I think they are there. It's just that there are other areas that they need to look into. Basically, that's the psychological part of it. The fear of winning has to be dealt with.
Interesting that, yes, the minister came yesterday with the contingent and she explained again that the RTG covers 2 cycles of Olympic. This would be a starting point for us. And then there's always a need of a progressive, continuous program.
Yeah.
So we can evolve, learn from this to move on for that one. The next Olympics, LA 2028. Do you see that we are going to have this first time in Malaysia 2 Olympic cycles together continuously? Do you see that the area to improve would be beneficial for us to be better gold medal contenders for the LA?
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a good move, because now you are more focused into a few athletes that we think that they can deliver, and it's good to have the program for 2 cycles. Because you can't work something on a short-term basis, because then what happened then another somebody suggests another program. It's just not going to work. It is good to be in place and it's good to have the continuation, but it needs to change from time to time to suit to the athlete, because from time to time certain athlete may excel, certain athlete may not excel. You need to understand from there how do we help them to improve. Like I said, so far, based on the few sports, you're talking about cycling, you're talking about badminton, diving, our athlete has been there. So how do we improve that and make it better? And what are the weakness? I'm not saying bad thing about diving, but the Chinese are too strong. The girl is so young, he's going to last for another 2 or 3 Olympics.
50 points above from the second place guy. So it's just a different world.
Not that other country is not good. The other country like England, they are all divers are all very good, But again, this little girl is too good. So you look at it like I'm not saying like we don't have a chance, but if we focus too much into diving, I think there will be disappointment.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that we can't. Maybe we have to look at the grassroots level and see if we have another girl like that, like the Chinese. Because, we have to have, in sports, we have to have development. Without development, the sports has no future. Because these people, the young people are the hope of the future, So you have to start looking at the grassroots level. That's what happened in China. All these young people, when they're young, as young as like 7 years old, they are already been chosen to go into whichever field of sports that they're asked to.
Their development is just so focused, and on top of that, huge population, and for them, probably it's an escape from poverty to better the whole family life.
Yeah.
So maybe we as a society, as a community, we don't like to suffer so hard from the start. There's why should I this thinking of why should I want to struggle so fast? Maybe later on I catch up, but China is doing it fantastically well. They start early and they have the longevity of career. They are badminton players, they are divers, even they are shooting, archery. They are always there because they are willing to start from early, and they are the state of their development, like you mentioned, it's huge.
Yeah, you see, that's why sometimes it's not a program being put together. Need not be just a program. It has to have a lot of things that comes with it. RTG is good because then it has attract in some sponsors. You get money in there. You get more money in there. You get to have a wider group of talent to choose from, and then encouraging all the athletes to do well so that they are in the program. And all these are all additionals of incentive to support the athlete. Because at the moment, some athlete, they can only last until certain time, because when they are in the full time under MSN, they will get X number of salary for monthly. But when they start growing older and when they have family and things like that kind of salary they cannot last in there. So sometimes certain athlete has to withdraw and become independent so that they work. I mean, saying about that, just like my sports, my program was my development program was cancelled in 2012, and until today I don't have any development program.
Yeah,
Snooker has been
we still rely on the older guys who are already late 30s.
Yeah, and these people, they are not in any program at all. They are not in the part-time or whatever, ad hoc, whatever. They are on voluntary basis. They're not getting any funding. Only towards SEA Games 1 or 2 months before that, they're given some training allowance. Other than that, no. Any of them could easily come to me and say, sorry, I can't do this SEA Game or that SEA Game. Then I have no other talent because I have no funding for development. I will struggle with another 1 or 2 SEA Games. After that, I will suffer. My sports will suffer. So I've been talking to a lot of people to try to see if they can help us, support us. Now it's coming to August now, and then next year SEA Games is going to be in Thailand soon. I need to start a program as soon as possible. Otherwise, to sport like us, if it's a chicken and egg thing. If I don't have result, I will not get support. If I don't get support, I will have no result. So
it is.
It's tough, right? It's tough.
Talking to you for years, and it's always the same conversation. Like how are we going to get support? Yes, the popular sports, the bigger sports gets the most eyeballs, most thing. But when it comes to SEA Games, it's always pool and billiard would deliver some medals. There's always been consistency despite the obstacles. But do you see that the need of the community, the public, the society to look at, this is a sport, all sports should be given equal attention? Yes, they would argue that, this sport is cheaper, this sport is expensive, this one is more mass appeal to it. But do you see that when it comes to terms of funding from the National Sports Council, from the KBS, do you see that a better framework is needed? It's not just about achievement, it's not just about these certain sports, it's a big, small, shouldn't be that categorized by certain values. It's just about sports, everyone should get a same amount at the start, at the grassroots level. Then ideally it goes up or lesser according to achievement or accomplishment.
It's quite hard to comment on that because different sports has different category, and like football you have like
global.
global, and you have like 11 people in the team, and you put all together probably 20 old people for development. You talk about snooker like us, we only need about 3 or 4 person only. So it's hard to give everybody the same kind of funding for development. But the whole story, I mean the whole thing come back to the objective of the MSN, OCM and KBS, what they're trying to achieve there. And then they need to sit down with the association and see what the best way forward. Because not all associations are like, in a way, demanding for a lot of things. But if you ask as a general question to all the association, obviously they will say they need funding. The same question been on the table for years and years and years. So how much funding? Nobody can give you a
absolute number.
And be satisfied with it, because there's always reason, and there always, and which is true, because sometimes you want a world-class player, I need to spend a lot of time and money on building up this. So it's what you look immediately that you have. If you have a talent that you think you can develop in short time to achieve a certain level, then you should spend your money and time and focus on that person, rather than start looking at the grassroots. Because grassroots sometimes it's like casting a net into the water and the river, and then you out of there. Sometimes you get good fish, sometimes you get lousy fish. You don't know, and that's an investment that you have to do. So you never know what you will get in return. Somebody could be good and potential now, but years down the line it could be different.
Human being, you change. Your priorities change, and you might. One year you are a world champion, and then maybe the next day you retire or resign, injury. So there's so many things there.
I would probably blame this on the social media. The upcoming trend of social media actually has a lot of negative impact in sport itself, especially with youngsters now. They are glued to the handphone, to their computer, and things like that. Outdoor activities has been minimized, and nobody wants to step out of the door, to go outdoor and start doing this exercise.
The struggle to become a sportsman 10 years ago is different, and now to pick up a sport itself is a struggle because the lack of interest, the lack of going through the hassle. And talking about social media being negative, we have seen this for this Olympic in Paris, our CDM Dato' Hamidin Muhammad Amin was criticised, and our OCM President Tan Sri Nurza Zakaria also target of criticism. A lot of people unaware of what a role of a CDM, what a role of a OCM President is. You were the deputy CDM for the for the Phnom Penh SEA Games. Can you share what actually a role of a CDM is, so people would at least have an idea of what the boundaries are, because things are at international state. It's in a high level competition like Olympics. You can't do things like what you want.
Yeah, I think it was a good experience for me to go to the Cambodia SEA Games as the deputy CDM. You see, the main function of the CDM is to make sure that the athletes are there without any hassle, that everything is okay, they can eat and can sleep, and can exercise and can train properly. And then any problem, then the CDM will bring it up to the organizing committee, as an issue or whatever to sort that. And they have to have daily or even weekly kind of meeting to make sure that all athletes' problems are resolved so they can focus and compete in the tournament. For SEA Games, there's too many sports in there. That's why you need deputies there. But like for Olympic, it's limited, so you don't really need such a big entourage to be there. What Dato' Hamidin has done in the past and now, he's an experienced person, so I think that anybody who is on such a duty should not be criticized, because they know what they're doing there, and they know what they have to do there, and each of them has their own role. So I think it's never fair to commend and critique such official there. As far as the Tan Sri Noza is concerned, I am very sad for him, because people who know him, he has done so much for the sport, not just for badminton. When he was in the badminton, he has done so much changes since 2017. He's bringing so much sponsorship. All the athletes are training in a very good environment. Then he bring in even the educations to the athlete. They have to go through the schools and things like that. You know, a lot of things in there, but a lot of people doesn't know. They are not just there for training; they're also there to study. And apart from that, you know, he's a corporate person. You know, his relationship out there, he's managed to get in a lot of
sponsors.
He has the new academy set up there. You know, all these are this plus, and all the athlete has performed well under his. You know,
it is strange that performance of an athlete is linked to the president's, the sports president, but when they win, the association and the president don't get the credit.
Yeah.
But when an athlete fail, athlete gets the criticism as well as the association and president. So there's this weird thing in Malaysia, especially.
No, that's why I say it's so unfair for Tan Sri, because he, apart from him being the president of BAM, he's also recently been appointed as the vice president of OCA, and he has been the Olympic Council of Malaysia's president, you know, for the past few years. So he has a better insight than anybody else of the sports, of the sport culture in this country. So that's why I said that people wanted to comment a little bit thing about him, his family having there is unnecessary, because as a president of BAM, as a vice president of OCA, and you know, and president of NOC,
he is entitled.
Yeah, he has so many entitlements, and I know that because the family are there for holiday since like 3 weeks ago. You know, they were there in Europe. So what's the problem of inviting them? And this is a VIP accreditation. It has nothing to do with officials accreditation.
Yeah, it's two different things.
Yeah, people don't understand, because official accreditation for coaches and things like that is different. That you have to go through the IOC, you know, and then they scrutinize, because they don't want people to just go there. But as a guest, you can invite your guest to any of the event. And this is not just this Olympic, all the other Olympic multi-sports events are
all nations have the same access.
I think that's just lack of understanding and of people about their what do you call that, benefits as a presidents of associations. It's just that also is not fair for people who don't understand and comment. And actually, all these netizens are also called some of them who are like cyberbullying, you know, we call them, is really a serious matter, because I think first thing is that it affected a lot of people's mindset. And I think I'm sure you know that recently that such a person has created caused the one of the lady KOL to commit suicide, right?
Yes.
So they have to understand, you know, and they have to be responsible for what they say in social media, because it's not just happily behind the keyboard and just comment
it gets
things about people.
amplified, and we have a case of someone committing suicide. So it is bad. At the same time, they don't see the CDM. Like yesterday when the cyclists came back, they said, it was hot. OCM and the CDM, they managed to get our cooling unit for our unit, our accommodation unit. So these are things that not being said. People don't want to know, and people don't go around saying it. So they are there to play a role, to take care of the well-being of the athletes. And me being in sports, covering these multi-sports games, I have never seen our CDMs not doing their job. They are always going whatever extra. The athletes cannot come in. They go somewhere somehow to get it done. There's always delivered food. From food to shoes missing, they manage to get it done. So there should be an understanding that these people are there not just for glamour. They're actually working. They are working. Maybe they are not the athletes, but they have a role and they are working, and then they are safeguarding whatever the athletes are needed there. Hopefully, with your sharing, people would understand better.
I'm not saying that people can't comment, but you have to understand before you start commenting. You have to be responsible for what you put out there. In any legal matter, you know, people sometimes say, it's only hearsay. But when you post something like that, it's documented, you know, it's in there. You cannot hearsay. I mean, there could be,
legal consequences.
Consequences been taken against you. But then again, like, you know, people don't understand. People just want to talk about it. And sometimes, you know, it is really, really damaging and actually affecting. You see, a lot of athletes nowadays are affected by that, because when they go and play in a tournament, and just say in general, all athletes, they're worried that if they don't win, what other comments will come and things like that. They are worried because they have so many followers. I mean, like my snooker player, when they go for a tournament, they're worried that, the guy has 20,000 followers, and then he's thinking, if I lose this game, I'm the favorite. What am I supposed to say?
Pressure.
Yeah, they are pressured indirectly under such circumstances, and then they don't know how to deal with it. So, these are the things that we should look into. If they want to go for a big event, I think they should stay away from Facebook.
Social media. Interesting that yesterday Shafi Daus came. He had a crash in the final.
Yeah.
Got relegated. And then the Japanese rider who crashed into him, he's a good friend with Shafi Daus. And he said, I'm embarrassed because that guy come and said, he said that I thought Malaysians are nice people. He got attacked on his social media, on his Instagram, 100,000 comments whacking him, and he's shocked. And then Shafida was saying that I'm so embarrassed because I'm going to see this guy is genuinely nice to me. In a sports, accident happened, and I don't blame him. It's a part of the sport.
That's why the lack of understanding of people in the sports. And if you don't understand the sport, then please don't comment, because it's unfair. Yeah. Because when I say that the incident does happen, because our friend is trying to overtake.
Yeah.
And I mean, when he rushed, he may have overlapped a little bit into the line of the Japanese rider. So the Japanese rider, if you look at the video carefully, he's been pushed. He's been forced off track a little bit. So he's trying to get back to his line. So that's when the incident happened. But from the eyes of the people, they think that he's nudged him, and caused him to fall.
It's part of the sports.
Yeah. Anything can happen. You look at other sports, some athlete even trying to pull you back. And look at the football, they're pulling your shirt so that all this, it's just part and parcel of the sports.
And the athletes know well, and they don't have hostility around them. They just know, okay, it's part of the sport. He's trying to win. I'm trying to win. Accident happened, and it's just that the lack of understanding. Now Shah is saying that, I don't know how am I going to face him. He's been a good friend. So now you put an athlete from two countries in an uncomfortable position, and he now have to get the good books of the Japanese rider, which is.
I think bottom line of all this thing is that maybe MCMC should just start thinking about some ways to prevent people from just making unnecessary remarks, because it's damaging to
image of the country.
It's just not correct. If you doesn't know enough, please don't comment, because it's not fair to people. And especially people I'm in the Olympic Council. I know how much work Tan Sri Rosa has put in. So it's really unfair for him to just have his wife sitting next to him and children next to him to watch an important badminton match. I think that's not necessary. So all in all, that this is the biggest problem that we are facing now. That it's not just affecting athletes, it's affecting people, it's affecting so many people. And it's going to be a problem for the future.
If we don't get educated on this, yes, I do see this is being an issue. We have people committing suicide because of the pressure on online. We need to be better, Malaysia. We need to be better. And moving on, the last section of our session today. We have another 4 years for LA 2028. We have came this much. I think the RTG was a new thing that we tried, and like you said, there are so much encouraging results from there. Goal still elusive. But what's your forecast for the next 4 years? What do we need to do to get that goal?
Well, if they do the right thing, right now the RTG is continued until the LA Olympics. So if they put things together and do the right focusing from now, again, like I said, culture, Malaysian culture, you have to change it a little bit for the athlete. You cannot be that nice when you're competing. You have to have that little
mean streak.
Yeah, you look at when Mike Tyson go into the boxing ring, he don't smile.
Even Lindan never smile. It's so intense.
When Lindan against Lee Chong Wei walk into the ring, you can tell that who has more confidence than another. It's not that we are behind or not skillful enough. We are there. So the last hurdle is more of a psychological matter, their confidence. So a psychologist can't come in and change you within months.
Yeah, it's a process.
My wife tried to change my character for 20 years. It's
still not working.
So, it takes time. So with 4 years, how can we better the confidence of our athlete? Properly build their mindset, so that they are more confident, they are more psychologically prepared, mentally prepared. And that is the biggest thing I see that will make a difference. there is opportunity for gold medals in the coming LA Olympic, because there is already in the past, for the past 3 terms, we could have got the gold, but because of little same problem on
like you mentioned, it's a repeated that mental, psychological barrier.
Yeah. Once they get over that, I think the goal is in within our reach. So I think that's the biggest thing that they have to look at it. So the RTG is a good program, but they have to make sure they do the right thing to get the athlete ready. And not just that, they also have to have an open mind to accept maybe some other sport who has potential, who has like athlete that is that can
in 4 year time.
Yeah, in 4 years time can reach that level. So I think it's not difficult to get the goal. It's already right in front of us, but we can't grab it. That's all.
If we're just missing it by millimeters,
agreed.
It's there. Anyway, we are at the end of our session. It's refreshing to learn from you, Melvin. The insight from the OCM, how things work, the roles of a CDM. I'm very happy that we have a guy who can share with this info, and hopefully we can educate the public. They are better informed. No more ignorance, no more this cyberbullying. Thanks for listening to the Timesports on the Beat. Your host K. Rajan and our guest Melvin Chia. We hope you enjoyed our session. You can listen to the podcast on Audio Plus, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.